Max Holloway was up on the cards and he could have coasted this fight. And the last, 15, 20 seconds, he calls him to the middle of the octagon and decides to just let it all hang out, caution to the wind, and just freaking let the hands fly. Let the hands fly. I know we usually start from the bottom top, but we can't. We can't, because what Max Holloway did, called it. What Max Holloway did, called it. Called it. What's crazy about this fight, called it. What's crazy about this fucking fight is when it was announced, I did not like it. I was like, oh my God, this seems so desperate. They're trying to come up with fights with 300 because there wasn't a lot of announcements, right? So they announced this. I just didn't like it because we've seen Max go up that weight at 55. Granted, he had short notice and he fought Dustin Poirier, but still, I just wasn't crazy about it because I absolutely love Max. And I always feel like we got to protect him at all cost. He's a complete legend. And he has a lot of fight left in him. And I was worried that this fight was going to steal some of that away, steal some of that Max blessed Holloway Hawaiian energy away. And we can't have that. So I didn't like the fight. And I was pretty vocal about that in the whole 300 card. And so as it went on and they started announcing the rest of the fights, I slowly went, that might be my favorite fight on the card. I kind of dig it. I was starting to lean towards it. I was like, that could be a really fun, exciting fight. Definitely the fight I'm looking forward to most. And I sat back. And then I watched Max Holloway's fight against Dustin Poirier. I went, okay, there's some good takeaways here. Now he has more time. I like his chances a little more now. Told my friends, not a bad bet. I wouldn't bet the house on it, but not a bad bet if he comes with the right game plan. And then Max, I think on his YouTube channel, goes, I hear all the people saying, I shouldn't have taken this fight and done this. He goes, but that's you. Don't limit me. And I went, oh, he's right. He's not like us that everything's calculated and, risk analysts and all this stuff. He's Max Holloway. And most elite guys are like that. And I went, oh, he's right. And that gave me even more confidence. He can do this. My exact prediction was that Max was going to stay on the outside. Like he did stay on the outside and avoid the big punches from Justin Gaethje and just kind of beat him that way and beat him by decision. Didn't call a knockout with 1 second left. Do we know anybody that did? Me neither. No. So I just think the argument of why this is the greatest knockout in UFC history, maybe combat sports history, definitely UFC history, is because you got to realize that the arguments that you have that this isn't the greatest, and I'm sure people will say Ben Askren, Masvidal with the flying knee. Yeah, that's a great one. Definitely up there, top three. I could go through 10 for you, and you can have an argument, but let's go through kind of three top ones. So the argument would be Ben Askren and Masvidal. Okay, but let's see what's at play here. Older Ben Askren, one-dimensional wrestler, and it was 15 seconds in the fight. Not much of a fight. Great knockout, spectacular, but older Askren. Okay. The best argument, I think, would be Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor. Conor, we found out after the fact, predicted exactly how this was going to go. He knocked him out, whatever it was, in 19 seconds. It was for the title, 45, but it was 19 seconds. So it's just different. It's just completely different. And I'll see some people argue that the Buckley kick, no, because you think about who he's fighting. Who is he fighting? Doesn't matter, right? Never heard of him. Don't even know if he's still in the UFC. And that's a fight night. The other argument would be Yair Rodriguez, Korean Zombie. That was a fight night in Denver at 2:00. And what were the stakes? And who was he fighting? Korean Zombie? Legend. Will he get to the Hall of Fame? Probably. One of his fights already is, but as an independent, will he get to the Hall of Fame? Maybe. Compared to Justin Gaethje, and this is no disrespect to Korean Zombie. I know we all love him. Compared to Justin Gaethje, though, not comparable. Also, all these fights we're mentioning, even Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, boring fight. You know, he's down on the scorecards. Then he pulls off that head kick. It was for a title. Great. This is all great. This is why Max's fight against Justin Gaethje is labeled, according to me and maybe a few others, as the greatest knockout ever in UFC history. Remember, Max is a 145er. Came up to 55. Not even his division. Came up to 55. Now, before the fight, if I told you I can guarantee Max is going to win, you would be like, okay, by decision? Yeah, we all thought decision. If I told you that in the end of one of the rounds, Max was just going to stand in the middle of the cage and trade recklessly, and you could bet on it. I didn't tell you what round, didn't tell you how far into a round. If I just said, hey, I talked to Max, he said at some point in this fight, he promises, he guarantees me, he's going to walk to the middle of the octagon and throw caution to the wind and trade shots with Justin Gaethje. Who would you bet on? Is anybody in here betting on Max Holloway? No, including me. He beat Justin Gaethje at his own game, the human highlight. Knocked him out, just not like a TKO. You're talking walk-off, home run, end of the fight, KO.
Face down. It was
face down, ass up. We've never seen Justin Gaethje get knocked out like that. Max Holloway's really not known as a knockout artist, more of a volume guy. He's knocked guys out, Korean Zombie, some other guys, but never to this extent. Never a guy of Justin Gaethje's caliber. But if I told you, I can guarantee you he's going to go to the middle of that octagon, point to the middle of the octagon, and trade shots with Justin Gaethje, what do you think the DraftKings odds would be? Of who? And I said, and somebody's going to get knocked out. I can guarantee you a knockout, and they go and trade shots in the middle octagon. What do you think the DraftKings odds would be? I bet Max would be a plus 4,000. Everyone put money on Justin Gaethje. It's what he does. It's where he thrives. So not only did he do that, but he did that knowing he was up on the scorecards.
Yeah.
At least 3-1. You probably give Justin the fourth round. But he's never in jeopardy of losing the fight. He was clearly winning this fight. Throws that all out the window, being Max Holloway. This is why he's different. What would I have done? I would have gotten my bike. I would have gotten my bike, secured the win, move on. But I'm not Max Holloway. Neither is 99% of the UFC roster. That is insane, dude. Insane. It's the greatest knockout in UFC history. Not to mention, he didn't do it on a fight night. He didn't do it on some random card. He did it on the historical UFC 300 and got 2 bonuses. He got $600K in bonus money. That's why it's the greatest knockout of all time.
And 1 second left. That was like a movie.
1 second left.
Yeah.
If you wrote that, the Hollywood script, if you wrote that, the director, it's too on the nose, man. No one's going to believe this. It's too on the nose. It's too on the nose. It wasn't a flash knockout. It wasn't a 15-second knockout like some of those other ones were mentioned. It's 1 second left against the human highlight, bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. He beat him at his own game when he was already up on the scorecards at UFC 300. He outshined everybody on the card. There's never been a card with more champions, more superstars ever. And he got 2 bonuses. So what's your argument for the best knockout in the UFC? Oh, wait. It's by far the best. By far. Not even close. Nothing's made me react that way. Nothing. Nothing. Insane. One of the best moments of my entire life covering this sport, which I've been doing for a hot freaking second. I've been involved in it. I've been knocked out. I've knocked guys out. I've been around it a long time. I've never seen anything like that. It's the greatest thing I've seen in UFC history. That's why it's the greatest knockout.